Now, the Syrian army has been forcing militants out of Aleppo and is now reportedly on the brink of fully liberating the city that's been engulfed in violence for almost 6 years. And although the fighting is still ongoing in some areas, people have already flooded the streets to celebrate the army's advance.
شفنا هذا اليوم ما صدقنا حالنا والله يحمي الجيش. انا اولاد اخوي 2 شهداء.
شو رايك بانتصارات حلب؟
يحضروا هالبارحه.
انتصار سوريا، شعب سوريا الله يحميهم وان شاء الله السلام والامن قادم.
وبانتصارهم رح نحقق حلمنا ورح ندرس ورح نصير اعلاميين ودكاتره.
انا بتمنى اشكر الجيش العربي السوري لانه دافع عن وطنه واليوم حررنا واليوم هالرصاص اللي عم يطلع.
اليوم بدي نام وبكره مطبنه اني حبعت ابني على المدرسه بدون ما تلفن واسال كيف الوضع.
All of downtown Aleppo tonight is filled with people celebrating. It's a huge development, the most significant victory by pro-government forces for the duration of this conflict that's now lasted almost 6 years. But despite the happy faces around me, people chanting in support of the president and the army, of course it's been an extremely painful journey getting here. Tens of thousands of people have lost their lives. Most of the people living in Aleppo have been displaced. It's estimated that around 50% of the population have been forced to leave the city, and of course much of the city has been destroyed. Now, I've spent months in Aleppo in the last year, and I haven't really met anybody here that hasn't been affected by the war. The sense that I get from many people here that once they've done with their celebrations, that they are eagerly waiting to rebuild their homes, their families, and of course their city.
Now, according to Russia's defense ministry, Syrian troops have already liberated 98% of the city, gaining control over 5 more districts in the last 24 hours alone. 100,000 civilians have been guided out of the conflict zone. Thousands of militants have surrendered and been granted amnesty by Damascus. In liberated areas, Russian and Syrian bomb disposal units are now clearing civilian buildings, including schools and hospitals, booby-trapped by militants as they left.
This is yet another school that the group of the International Mine Action Center inspects and clears. This 4-story school, despite its large size, was a fortified position.
One area reclaimed by government forces in the last 24 hours is the Sheik Saeed district in the south of the city. It's considered a key access point to territories still held by militants. RT correspondent Lizzie Phelan has been following the Syrian army's advance.
This is the first time these pro-government fighters have been through these streets. They're searching building by building for militants from the opposition who haven't yet escaped. There's blood, a trace of blood, all along the floor here. The soldiers are telling us this was where the militants kept their prisoners. But there's no sign, obviously, now of whoever was being beaten, or God knows what happened to them in here. So presumably the militants who've now fled took the detainees with them.
Sheik Saeed is a very difficult area with a large number of tunnels. The militants were trying to capture the southern road and receive reinforcements from the outside, but we cut them off and cleared the entire district.
There's still the smell of explosives in the air. Here you can see various kinds of launchers for gas cylinders, rockets, mortar shells, which they were producing themselves, as you can see from the materials on that side. A Grad rocket here in these bags, the explosives that would be used to fill these gas cylinders that are so commonly fired on government-held territory. All of these bombs in here, they're ready to go. These gas cylinders have their fuse in them. Here, a bomb with the cables wired, also ready to be detonated remotely. These some kind of improvised explosive devices, mortar bombs, again, that we're seeing littered all over Sheik Saeed.
Lizzie Phelan, RT, Aleppo.